Hi, my name is Emily Orlando. I'm a freshman here at CCS in the advertising department, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what it's like to apply to an art school and what I put in my portfolio, so that way it's not as kind of scary as it is if you kind of don't know what you're doing. So, how do you get into art school? That phrase sounds like super daunting, and you'd think it was like super hard to just do anything or to get into an art-based school, but actually it's like incredibly easy and not at all stressful, really. So what you do is you fill out an application like you would any other college, like basic information, stuff like that, have your score sent there, your high school transcript, and then the portfolio, which is like the big word. It's like, oh my goodness, so challenging. But actually it's just like putting together pieces that you're proud of and that really represent you as a person, like your views as an artist, and just showing the school that like you're passionate about it and that you're willing to learn and that you have just like a passion and interest in art. So for your portfolio, you need 5 to 8 pieces. And what I was told a lot when I was looking into it and just asking different people, they were like, oh, all schools, they want to see variety. They want you to have some of this and some of that. They want to see something hand done and then something done on the computer. But as I was asking more students that actually went to CCS, it's not variety, it's your best work. So the pieces that I picked out 5 pieces for my portfolio. I picked out, all my work was digital, but it doesn't have to be, it's just your best work. So when the deadline was coming up for my portfolio to be due, of course I had forgot, I'm a senior, I got other stuff to do, apparently, more important than getting my portfolio together. So it was the day of that it was due at 4 or 5 o'clock. So I got home from school and I was like, simple, this will be easy. I have digital work, I'll just find the flash drive that I put it on and I'll just upload the work to Slideroom. It'll be super easy. And then I spent an hour and a half looking for this small purple flash drive that I could not, I saw it the day before, I knew where it was, but maybe not. So I couldn't find it. So I was like, oh no, I need to have this in by 4 or 5 o'clock. So I was like, oh, well, I have printouts of all the work I want to submit. So I went outside because it was too dark in my house. I took all of my work outside into the backyard and laid it out on the driveway and took pictures of it because I wanted the work to be in there and I didn't want to submit something else that I could find. So I took pictures of it and I submitted it that way and it ended up working for me. So the work that I submitted 5 pieces. The first one that I submitted, I actually have a printout of it as well. It's an info magazine, a kind of informational, but more not a regular magazine on Detroit, because it was something I was really passionate about at the time. So it's 8 pages, it has spreads in it, and it's got information in it, and it was super interesting and fun for me to kind of make stuff. And I wanted to have a double page spread in it. That was kind of interesting for me. And it was something that I was passionate about, living in Detroit, because I've lived in Detroit my whole life, so it's a really great city, and I wanted to kind of showcase that in my magazine, so this was one of the pieces that I submitted. And then the second piece that I submitted was actually a compilation of some things. It was a brand that I created, a skateboard brand, that I named Sweet Feet, and I made a whole campaign around it. I designed skateboards, designed a website, and designed a print ad. So the next piece that I submitted was something that I did for the pre-college experience, which was a fake mock-up ad for CCS, where I got assigned a concentration or a major to kind of showcase for the ad in CCS. So I made a banner ad, and then I found a picture of someone actually making pottery, ceramics, and then inserted a clip of text on it. The last piece that I submitted was a font that I created, and I was really inspired by Scrabble, so I wanted to make a font that looked like Scrabble tiles because I wanted it to be a fun font, something interesting, which was kind of a theme in my portfolio, that I was doing things that I was interested in and things that I thought were fun and bright and colorful, which was just something that represented me kind of as an artist. So what do you do when you get your portfolio together? A lot of people don't know, and I didn't know going into it until I got more into doing my application, that there is all sorts of resources available to you at school, talking to admission counselors, and just you don't have to be alone in submitting your portfolio. There's lots of people that you can ask and talk to and consult about the pieces in your portfolio, about whether they are great strong pieces, or if you think that one piece isn't strong enough and you could replace it with something else. So it's just about putting your strongest foot forward and just showcasing who you are as an artist, and that there's all sorts of like resources and available to you that like you can see other people's work. Like when I was submitting stuff to my portfolio, I actually looked on Slide Room and I like Googled like typed in advertising to see what other people who were in advertising were putting up on Slide Room, so I had kind of an idea of what I should put in my portfolio or like what pieces I should choose over others. So before I even like submitted my final portfolio, I got a lot of advice from my admissions counselor, Brandy, and she looked at a lot of my work, so I knew that it was strong work and something that I wanted to submit, and I was really proud of it. So when I turned in my portfolio, I wasn't like scared anymore or like worried like, oh, I don't know if this is stuff I should put in my portfolio. I knew and I was proud of it, and I submitted it, and I was like, whew, done. Like, don't have to worry about it anymore. It was like really great for me to like submit that stuff and just be done. And I was like talking to all my friends that were like applying for other colleges, and they're like, oh, I have like 6 essays to do, and like I have all these applications and it's like super confusing. And I was like, I just submitted my portfolio and application, and like now I'm done. And it was super easy, not as daunting as I thought it was in the beginning, and not as scary. I was super anxious at the beginning about submitting stuff, but at the end of it I was like, whew, I was worried about like nothing. And so obviously my portfolio was good enough because here I am. So so thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful, sharing my story about how like I'm not organized and can't find things. So there's going to be a link in the description for more information, and just like, thanks for watching.